Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, beautiful humans, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. How are we in December? I know you're probably like me and thinking, how did I get here? How are we in the last month of 2024? It's just crazy. And I'm sure this year for you as well has had some highs, some lows, some ups and downs, and you're probably just really, really craving that end of year break. And I want to remind you that it's actually a really normal feeling to just feel like you're done at this time of the year, because it's almost like our brains, our bodies, our nervous systems know that it is the end of the year, that we are at the finish line of a huge year. And it's like everything just starts to become difficult, but we become tired. We feel like we've just genuinely had enough. And so if you're feeling like that, please know it is a totally normal feeling to want to just be done with everything and just enjoy the festive and New Year break. I've especially realized it too now that I'm in the business space, because quite often for a lot of people, a lot of businesses especially, that Christmas and New Year time is when majority of businesses shut down. There's no emails, there's no correspondence, there's no things happening. A lot of things actually just close down at that time of the year. So it is a really good time to have a good, solid break, a reset, a refocus, so you're feeling fresh and ready for the brand new year. So in today's episode, I want to give you all of my tips and tricks and hacks as to how you can survive the festive season and how you can stay confident and eat guilt-free during the holidays. So I want to start by talking about why we struggle during these holiday periods. And the reason I want to do that is because so much of what we do and so many of the daily habits that we do every single day, we are just completely unaware of. So the more you understand, the more confident you have and the less overwhelmed you feel about these holiday periods and these festive times of year. So one of the main reasons as women that we struggle during these holiday periods is because we think that if we eat too much over Christmas and New Year, that we will gain large amounts of weight, 5, 10 kilos, whatever you think that might be. And I just want to remind you that this is not the case. You would need to eat a significantly large amount of calories above and over your maintenance, your daily calories, to put on that amount of weight. So if you're listening to this and thinking, oh, if I eat all this stuff over Christmas and if I enjoy myself, so I'm going to put on all this weight, it doesn't work that way. Weight gain is a slow period over a long period of time, eating at above your calories, and that's how weight gain happens. It's not going to happen from enjoying a few nights out, Christmas lunch, Boxing Day barbecues, all of those kind of things. So please don't worry about that. Now, the other reason as women that we struggle with holiday periods in Australia is Easter and Christmas. If you're America, it might be like Thanksgiving, all of these kind of things. The reason that we struggle around these times is because we have been taught and sold through advertising and the media that healthy eating is something that we turn on and off. Now, I am literally blown away by the amount of advertising I'm seeing already, and this started in November, about how I should be doing a shred for Christmas, or I should be going into a cut, or eating a super low calorie diet. But all this advertising that we're being given is we'll do all these things so then you can have a blowout and make yourself sick and eat so much food on Christmas Day. And that is such a bad mindset and such a bad way to go into the festive season. So we've been taught that healthy eating is something that we turn on and off. We do it for the friend's wedding, or we eat healthy in the lead up so we can eat more at Christmas time, or, we diet in the lead up to Easter so we can eat all the chocolate at Easter time. And this is one of the main reasons why we struggle with healthy eating consistently long term as women, is because we think it's something that we should turn on and off. So in today's episode, I'm going to challenge you to, instead of taking that dial and turning the Christmas dial where you're either doing absolutely nothing for yourself when it comes to healthy eating and your wellness, to doing everything and eating perfectly and exercising every day, I'm going to challenge you at the end of this episode that during this December and early January period, I just want you to turn your dial halfway. So I don't want you to completely turn it off, and I don't want you to have it like full ball up to doing everything perfectly. Just turn your healthy dial and your wellness dial just halfway and see how good you feel when it comes to the new year, the new month of January, and how you don't need to make such drastic changes. So I'll talk about my example at Christmas time. I was stuck in this old pattern too. I would sort of think, well, Christmas is coming, so I want to eat all the food. So I'm going to exercise a lot. That's another one, as us gals like to do. It's like, I'm going to eat all this food, so I'll try and do more exercise in the lead up to Christmas because that will hopefully offset all of the extra food that I'm going to eat. So I would try and like exercise a lot in the lead up to Christmas. And then because I had restricted my food and I was over exercising and things like that, once it got to Christmas time, I just wanted to eat everything. And I would say overconsumption. When you just, you've eaten too much and you feel sickly full and it's actually uncomfortable. And it's only in hindsight now, because I'm on the other side of this journey, that I can look back. And I did that because I restricted my food. I restricted my food in the lead up to Christmas. I was too restrictive with my food choices. I may not have eaten any chocolate for 6 months because I'm like, oh, chocolate's bad. I'd put chocolate in the bad group. And so I never allowed myself to eat any chocolate. And so what happens at Christmas time when all of these amazing, tasty foods are put in front of you? Like you have those like bowls of little mini chocolates, like favorite chocolates that are on the table and you're picking at them and stuff like that. It's very hard if you love chocolate and you've denied yourself of eating any chocolate for a long period of time and that bowl of chocolates is in front of you at Christmas time. It's very hard to just have one or two and eat mindfully and stop at those. So over exercising, restricting the foods that you love, restricting your calories, these all lead to Christmas blowout, Christmas binges. And then unfortunately, you enjoy all the food and then you just feel guilty afterwards for enjoying that food instead of enjoying your meal, eating mindfully, stopping when you're full, having a little bit of everything that you feel like and feeling good afterwards. So that's what I'm going to go through with you today, because one of my goals with this podcast is to empower you and make you feel confident, because we know so often as women, when it comes to healthy eating especially, we feel so powerless. Like we just feel like we have no control. We don't know how to eat to make ourselves feel good. And we just feel like we have no control. So I really want this episode to be one of empowerment, where you finish listening to this episode and you go, yes, I know exactly what I'm going to do as I head into this month of December. And I feel confident, I feel empowered, and I'm in control of the food that I eat. The food is not in control of me. And that is how I want you to feel, because when you get to that point, it's so good. Like it's so good to go to Christmas and see a bowl of chocolates and go, oh, yeah, I really don't feel like that. Or like, yeah, I'm just going to have one or two and then have one or two and then just walk away because you've had enough. It's the best feeling ever, because food no longer controls you and you are in control of the food choices that you get to make. Okay, so how do we eat guilt-free over the Christmas period? And how do we get that switch to just that halfway? So we're not like going YOLO and doing nothing at all and just eating everything, or trying to be super perfect and eat perfectly and exercise perfectly over the festive and Christmas period. Okay. So, like I said, we often feel powerless. So I want to give you all of my tips so you can feel very empowered, very in control, and go into this last month of December feeling really confident and knowing exactly what you need to do. Okay, here are my top tips. So number one, now you're probably going to think that some of these are like, okay, well, that's great, Jen. I do those things, or I've heard this before. You're not doing them. You're not doing them, and you're not doing them consistently, because these simple things actually will work for you if you do them. So number one is plan ahead. And it sounds like a really simple thing. Okay, plan ahead. Well, what do I do? This is what planning ahead looks like. So, for example, it is a Thursday night. You've got your work Christmas party on the Thursday night. Okay. So, instead of going, well, I've got my Christmas party on the Thursday night. Oh, well, who cares? I'm just going to eat all the food. It doesn't matter anyway because I'm going to be eating all of this food at the Christmas party. So, I won't bother at all. That's that on, off, all or nothing mindset. And that's what we want to start changing. So if you think about it this way, plan ahead. So you've got your Christmas party at night. So you have multiple opportunities in the lead up to that Christmas party during that day on that Thursday for how you can plan ahead and set yourself up for success when you go to that Christmas party. Okay. So I'll give you an example. So we'll call her Girl A. So Girl A, she's got her Christmas party on the Thursday night. So Thursday morning, she gets up. She slept in. She rocks up at work late. The kids are driving her nuts. She had to drop them off at daycare or school, wherever she's going to go. Work was busy. She grabbed a coffee and a piece of toast for breakfast. She got super busy, so she skipped lunch, came home, organised all the kids, sorted out all the dinner, as we do as mothers before we go out, sorted out all the things, and then she headed to her Christmas party. Now, think about this. How much control and self-control do you think she is going to have around food and drink at that Christmas party when she's barely eaten anything throughout the day? Literally zero. She is going to eat everything that is in front of her and then some and overeat again, and because she hasn't eaten anything and hasn't eaten properly throughout the day. So let's look at Girl B that has planned ahead. So she knows she's got her Christmas party on the Thursday night. So Thursday morning, she wakes up. She has a high protein breakfast. She might have a smoothie bowl with a scoop of protein powder in it. She might have a massive egg and egg white omelette she has for breakfast. She starts her day with a high protein breakfast. She drinks lots of water throughout the day. She makes sure that she eats lunch. And then in the late afternoon, before she goes out to her Christmas party, she has a protein smoothie. She feels really full. She feels really satisfied. And she can go into her work party on the Thursday night and make mindful food choices. It makes a massive difference to her progress, to how she feels, literally just by planning ahead. It's always a good idea to never go to these things hungry. When you go to something like that hungry, like I said, you're literally putting yourself in the firing line and you'll have zero control about the food choices that you make, because I've been there. It is damn near impossible to make a good food choice or to have self-control or to stop when you're full. When you go to these kind of events, when you are hungry, it is literally impossible. So plan ahead, work your day backwards. I've got this thing on. Okay, I've got this barbecue. I've got this party. I've got this function. I've got this family catch up, whatever it is, work backwards for that day. Okay, so we've got this thing on. Right, I've got the whole day, make choices. And you're in a position to make better choices because you don't have those things on. You're at home. So when you're at home, make better choices. Don't just do this on, off, all or nothing attitude mindset, because there are so many opportunities where you can still make good choices. You can still make healthy choices and don't have to go all YOLO when you get to your festive party, your Christmas function, or your event around sort of December and January time. Are you tired of the endless struggle to eat healthy and nail your meal prep routine? Introducing the Real Nourish Do-It-Yourself Meal Prep Mixes, the ultimate solution for busy women like you. When I went on my own personal health journey, I discovered the many benefits of meal prep, and after much searching, I just couldn't find a meal prep mix that was designed especially for women. So I literally decided to create my own. Trust me, as a busy working mum, meal prep has changed my life. Our mixes are packed with protein to keep you energized and feeling full. Our mixes can be whipped up in under 10 minutes, perfect for your on-the-go lifestyle. Using our award-winning pancake tray bake mix means you can say goodbye to standing over a hot stove, flipping pancakes. Simply add water, toss in your favorite fruits, and bake. If you're ready to revolutionize your meal prep game, you can find my mixes at theactivebod.com or follow us on Instagram at realnourish_. And as a special thank you to our Healthy Her community, we have a discount code. So just enter the code, The Healthy Her, at the checkout. Number two, and this is a really important one, and I do a lot of work with our Healthy Eating Hype Gal community members on this one in particular, because I'm often asked about, Jen, I've got this thing to go to or that thing to go to, and how do I navigate it? Like, I've been working really hard and I'm getting some weight loss results and I don't want to undo my progress, but I don't know how to handle these situations. And can you help me? So this is a big one that we work on in the membership. Now, what it is that I teach the girls that you are in control of the food choices that you make. So you choose what you're going to eat. So when you go to these kind of events around this time of the year, if you go into that knowing what you're going to eat, what you're going to consume, what you're choosing to enjoy, you feel confident and you feel empowered. And it also helps a lot with your self-control around food. And what I mean by that, let's say that you're going to a restaurant, okay? You're going to this restaurant for dinner, right? And it's a work thing or it's a Christmas party or a friend catch up at the end of the year. Like there's so many things that we have on. And there's this restaurant. And at this, the most amazing restaurant, it's Italian, we'll make an Italian restaurant. And they have the best like toasted garlic bread they put out on the table. Now, I love this garlic bread and I don't want to miss out on this garlic bread. So go to the restaurant and go, in my mind, yep, I'm going to mindfully have a piece of that garlic bread and I'm going to enjoy it. What that does is it puts you back in the driver's seat. When you get to the restaurant and there's all these like canapes and entrees and all these kind of things and there's everything there and you're like, okay, well, I'll just eat everything because it's all in front of me. You are actually in control. You actually have more choice and more control than what you think you do. So go to your thing, or it might be a family catch up, like your auntie or your grandma or nana or your best friend, like makes the most amazing Biscoff cheesecake. Go to that thing in your mind and thinking, I'm going to have a piece of that cheesecake. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to eat it mindfully. I'm going to eat it slowly and I'm going to enjoy it. It gives you power. It puts you back in control. And then it's not just, well, here's all this food. So I'm just going to eat all of the food because it's in front of me. So plan ahead, think about what you're going to eat, what you want to eat, and enjoy that food mindfully. And you will feel so much more confident and so much more in control of the food choices you're making when those foods are actually put in front of you. Tip number 3, and this is an important one, ditch the all or nothing. Like, why does it have to be eat everything in sight or eat nothing at all? Like, why does it have to be like that? And it's back to that, what I talked about at the start of this episode is I want you to take your all or nothing dial and I want you just to turn it halfway. Okay. I don't want you to do all of it and I don't want you to do nothing. Like, I just want you to turn your dial halfway and think, well, you know what? Like I said, you can still go to your parties. You can still enjoy your catch-ups. You can still go to work events. But in the month of December, those things are such a small of your actual day-to-day. So focus on the things that you can do day-to-day, all those small habits, drinking your water, going for a walk, having a high protein breakfast, which will be a game changer, especially at this time of the year. If you are still sitting on the fence about whether you should eat or whether you are eating a high protein breakfast, starting your day with a high protein breakfast will set you up for success, especially at this time of year. It will just help you make better and smarter food choices so that you won't have to go down this rabbit hole of like eating all of the food or eating nothing at all or feeling guilty because you've eaten something that you thought was a bad food or that wasn't good for you. Okay, my next tip, when you have control, be in control. Now, I touched on this a little bit earlier, but what that means is that when you have control, take control. So like I said, these parties and things are such a small part of the 24 hours that you have in your day. So when you are home, cook your meals at home. If you are home, meal prep some food. That's a big one at this time of the year is that we just get so busy. And it's not just the busyness, it's culminated with that tiredness and that end of year burnout that we all experience. And it's sort of like this melting pot for a disaster. So if you can do a little bit of meal prep, if you can look at a couple of freezer meals and throw them in the freezer so you've got something to eat on those nights when you're so busy, you've had all these things and you've got so much stuff on, like that you can just pull them out. Another great one, and I have done an episode on quick and easy healthy eating hacks for time poor busy women. So go back and listen to that one. Grab a pot roast chicken. Grab a hot roast chicken, make some Caesar salads, grab the hot chicken and just make some plates. Like really easy meal for yourself and the kids. Make a plate and just put a hot chicken on it, like some boiled eggs, some fruit, some carrot sticks, or maybe a little bit of hummus, some crackers. Like you can literally throw together a quick meal in seconds. It's summer here in Australia, but if you are in Europe and America and those places, same thing, like microwave rice, add a hot cooked chicken to that, add some rice, add some vegetables, make a quick chicken stir fry. There are so many meals that you can throw together in minutes, especially at this time of the year when you are so busy and so poor on time. When you have control, be in control. Get out of this YOLO mindset. Just be in control. If you're at home, if you're eating at home, eat well, make good choices. And then when you're out, go out and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself mindfully, make good food choices. When you take control and feel empowered, you'll feel so much better about how you feel, not only during the month of December, but also when January starts. If you implement the things that I've suggested, from January, there won't be that whole cycle of, well, I've eaten badly, so now I have to restrict my food and I have to go on this restrictive diet and I have to lose all this weight. You won't have that mindset again. So be in control when you have control. Okay, my next tip, adapt. I get to do both mindset. Now, in the Healthy Eating Hype Girl membership, we are running a challenge in December, and we are going to be running the Do Both challenge. So I really want you to adopt that mindset that you get to do both. It's not the all or nothing. So think about back relating it to the dial. So I want you to think of that. When you're out and about and you're doing things, you're thinking, hang on a minute, like Jen say to me on the podcast, it was about a dial. So am I doing all or nothing? Or can I just actually just turn it halfway at this time of the year? I can have it halfway. I really want you to adopt the mindset that you can do both. You get to do both. When you learn that you can do both when it comes to healthy eating and exercise and wellness and looking after yourself, everything changes because you ditch this ridiculous all or nothing mindset that we all get stuck in, this perfectionist mindset that we can only eat healthy and exercise when it can look and feel absolutely perfect. And that is not real life and that is not reality. So I really want you to do, I get to do both mindset. Tag me on Instagram at The Active Bod. Send me a picture and show me of how you are doing both in December. So what that might look like is it might look like you out on a Friday night with your girlfriends enjoying a glass of wine or perhaps your favorite cocktail. And next to that, there might be a photo of you on your morning walk. This is you getting to do both. And this is the untapped secret for long-term healthy eating success, is that you have to learn that you can do both. Okay. So December is all about you feeling confident, empowered, and understanding that you get to do both. Like I said, tag me, take a picture, tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see how you're doing both in December because I really want to change these stories, these narratives as women that we have, that it has to be all or nothing. And I really want it to be that you can look and feel amazing and feel confident, have the body that you want and look the way you want and still get to do both. It really is the secret to success. And my last tip for surviving the silly season, be prepared to be a beginner. If every Christmas you have gone down the path of, well, okay, it's Christmas, so I'm going to restrict my food, I'm going to cut calories, I'm going to skip meals, I'm going to do all these things so I can have a massive blowout and eat all the food at Christmas and New Year, and then it won't matter. If that has been your mindset and your pattern for years and years and years and years, it is going to take you time to undo and to create a new pathway for you and your brain. So if you're going into this festive season and you're finding it difficult to do both or to turn your dial halfway, just think about it that way. Just be prepared to be a beginner. This is your first festive season that you've gone into and gone, okay, I'm going to do this differently this time. I'm going to remember what Jen said, and I'm just going to turn my on and off dial about healthy eating and exercise just halfway. December and halfway through January, I'm just going to turn it halfway so I can still get to do both. It's not going to feel easy at first. You're not going to feel like you've nailed it. The fact that you're even choosing to start to adopt a better and a healthier and a more positive, long-lasting mindset around those things is amazing. So celebrate yourself for trying to make those changes. And like I said, just be prepared to be a beginner and to start changing those habits around these special times of the year and Christmas and New Year and all of those kind of things. Oh, I did forget. I do have one more tip. So this is the last tip, I promise. Take away the feelings that you have attached. And this will make this whole process and this whole time of year a whole lot easier. So, what I mean by that is you have to take away the feeling that you attach to food. Okay. So, if you're looking at the dessert table on Christmas time and it's full of pavlova and trifle and cheesecake and all of these things, if in your mind you're looking at those foods and going, if I eat those, I will get fat. It is you associating a feeling to those foods. Those foods won't make you fat. They just won't. Those foods won't make you fat. That's not the way weight gain works. Okay. So if you're looking at something and go, well, I can't eat those nuts because nuts contain fat and those nuts will make me fat. It doesn't work like that. But like I said, it's you that's associating a feeling to each of those foods. Okay. Or like if I eat that, I'm going to feel guilty because I indulged, because I enjoyed that food. That food is going to make me feel guilty. Food can't make you feel guilty. That is you that is connecting a feeling to that food. So really become aware of the thoughts, the feelings, the habits, the patterns that are going through your mind at this time of the year, and really just try and become aware of them and put a stop to them and go, you know what? A pavlova is actually not going to make me fat. Like if I consume too many calories over a long period of time, that is what will make me gain weight. Enjoying that slice of pavlova mindfully with my family and friends and still continuing with all of my other healthy habits, my water, my exercise, all of those kind of things, my movement, it's not going to make me gain weight. So really, really start to take away the feelings that you have with food, because at the end of the day, it's just dessert or it's just nuts. It's just chips. It's just chocolate, whatever the thing is that you really enjoy, it doesn't actually have feelings. It's just food. And that's something that I really want you to keep telling yourself when these feelings come up. Say to yourself, it's just food. It has no feelings. It's me that's giving a feeling to that food. And again, it will help you feel confident. It'll help you feel empowered. And you'll just feel so much more in control of the situation and also just so much more in control of the food that's going to be all around you and in surplus and in so much, because December and Christmas is all about the food and you should be able to enjoy it and you should be able to go out with your friends and have a drink and enjoy a meal, because at the end of the day, life is supposed to be enjoyed and you should be able to enjoy your Christmas and your festive and your holiday period and enjoy good times with family and friends, because that is what it's all about. So I want you to enjoy yourself. I want you to put yourself back in control. I want you to put yourself back in the driver's seat. I've given you loads of tips in today's episode of how you can take control. So we've got plan ahead. We've got the do both. We've got when you're in control, be in control. So if you're at home, make better food choices, all of those kind of things. Because at the end of the day, the more empowered, the more confident, the more in control that you feel, the better food choices that you will be able to make for the long term. And if you love this style of teaching and the way that I explain things and break things down for you, this is exactly how I teach our healthy eating hype gal community members. It's exactly how I teach them. I make weight loss and healthy eating easy and achievable. And my goal is always just to break all of this stuff down so that you can actually understand it, because the more you understand, the more empowered you feel, because you feel less overwhelmed. You know, you're not fumbling around in the dark thinking, why did I just eat half a pavlova? Or why am I feeling this way about this food? Or why do I keep beating myself up? This is exactly the way that I teach our healthy eating hype gal members. So if you love the way that I explain things, love the way that I do things, jump in and join our members, because they're all in there. They're such a beautiful community. I'm in there to support you. They're all ready to support you. And they're finally starting to make sense of their healthy eating, get their weight loss goals, and working on becoming the healthiest and happiest versions of themselves. Okay, if you love this episode, don't forget to screenshot the episode and tag me. And I'd love to see how you're doing both in December, enjoying your fun times, your night out, your eating out, but also taking care of your wellness as well, eating vegetables, drinking your water, maybe going to the gym, enjoying a walk. And just remember that when you learn how, it's actually quite easy to create a healthy balance with food and a good relationship with food and exercise. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was jam-packed full of tips. We are in December. We are in the last month of 2024. I know you feel like you're crawling to the finish line, but the break is coming. Hang in there, take on these tips and just enjoy yourself. eat mindfully, and take back control, because you are in control and you are in the driver's seat. So make choices that suit you and suit your lifestyle. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in our next episode of the Healthy Her podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing, because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @TheActiveBod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.